May we start?
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another Tasty Tuesdays talk. I'm Zbrah, and today on the show, I welcome Pari Roehi.
Good job.
Forgot your name.
Good job. Good job.
That's how you pronounce your name?
Yes.
Pari Roehi.
Pari Roehi.
What was going on from those early years to 14 then? What was...
Very unhappy. My mom recalls an incident that I was in the shower and I was like 6, 7 years old and I took like nail scissors and I wanted to cut my penis off, which is, it's so weird to say my penis. In my head, I never had one, but I don't, like my mom was like, it's so weird because we didn't teach this child what a girl has and what a boy has. Where does this phobia come from? Like it was so deeply within me. And I was just very depressed and I would like just out that and being angry and upset about everything. I wasn't pleasant to be around, you know, and my mom just had enough at some point and she could see I was struggling with myself. So her go-to was like, let's go to a psychologist, and especially the gender clinic in Amsterdam is well known for helping young kids. They're like one of the earliest clinics in the world that treat children when it comes to gender subjects and stuff like that. So we went there. And then I was just treated. I just would go every month. After school, I would just take the train and just drive to Amsterdam by myself. My mom was like, if you want to do this, you have to do it. I'm not going to hold your hand in this. I will support you, but you go to your appointments. And then there was no talk of having surgeries or anything at that point.
What was okay? Yeah, I was going to ask, what are these appointments?
So I would take the train, would go there, and then you would sit in a room like this with a psychologist, and she would ask you questions about like, how do you feel and what is bothering you, and draw this and draw that for me. How do you see yourself? And draw a house or draw a tree. Like they wanted to get in your psyche.
And you're how old by this
14.
point? You're 14.
I just turned 14, 15. It was like around that. Okay. Yeah.
So before then, you didn't know what was going on.
I was
very confused.
Very confused, very upset.
Were you on any medication?
Nothing yet. No, I was very androgynous.
Well, I'm just saying medication maybe for...
hormones or anything.
Or like no, depression or...
No. Nothing like that.
I don't know how early they start, so...
No, I don't think that. You don't get I don't think you get...
Well, nowadays, I feel like... I don't know. I have no idea for that subject.
I remember we had a moment where they were like, shall we give this kid hormone blockers? And my mom was like, we're not doing this. Because, again, in her back of her head, she was like, if she decides to change her mind, I don't want her to be like blaming me for like...
So they were already down to do that before they even talked to you?
No, I was talking during that process of talking. Because from 14 till 16, there was just talking. And I was sick of the talking. I was just like, can we get to it?
Okay, so it was extensive therapy, like psychiatric therapy for 2 years. Just to make... Be sure.
Intense every month. And you could not... Are we there?
I lost you for a second.
It was intense every day, and I was just tired of it. So I got really suicidal from that because I was like, they're just stretching, and I know what my problem is, and I'm just I'm explaining myself, and nobody's listening to me. And then at 16, so they denied me the hormone blockers because my mom didn't want me to have those, which would have saved me a lot of misery later on in life because I had to correct all the things that puberty did to me. You know, the male features, which I had to correct by having plastic surgery done to fix those things, which is, you know, rather not. Who wants to do all that shit?
Yeah.
Not me. So yeah, at 16, you go and they go in front of a board of like psychologists and plastic surgeons or whatever, and they go, okay, are we going to give this kid green light, orange light, or red light? Green light means yes for hormone therapy. Orange is like, no, she needs a little bit more time. Red light is no, she's not a trans human, maybe she's non-binary, maybe there's something else going on here. This is not the path for this child. So I got the green light. Obviously, I mean, they were like, okay, we're gonna fix this has to happen. And it just like my whole mentality just changed. I just felt so much more comfortable with myself, and everything just looked way better in life for me. You know,
once you started taking hormones,
I felt hurt for the first time. I was like, okay, this is it. Also, the funny story. The way things went for me, I always say this as a joke. I'm like, my mom, just like the typical Persian mom, she at some point I was 14 and she just stormed in my room and she just started screaming like, I'm tired of this shit. We need to go and talk to somebody. This is not okay. And like her braveness in this helped me a lot because she pushed me to, you know, get the help that I needed. Because I was just fucking around. I was just not, I didn't know what trans was or like, you know.
I mean, you're a kid. You know?
So,
I mean, and that was a totally different time than now.
Yeah,
it's totally different.
You had Jerry Springer. Those were the girls that we saw. Those were like our role models. We didn't have anybody on TV talking about these
Exactly.
kind of things.
There was no information.
But my good thing was my mom had a neighbor back in her when she was younger, and this girl was trans, and she got married to a very wealthy husband, and she turned out very well. So my mom always had that vision for me. So she was like, okay, trans.
That helped
positive,
because it helped because it was a positive experience.
Yes,
You know, it wasn't a negative experience that maybe you'd see on television or being projected.
Exactly.
So when one takes hormones, do you see, is it more mental or is it physical? Is it a little bit both that you noticed, like how it was changing?
Yeah, I felt like, well, the physical changes took very long.
That takes longer.
Yeah.
Usually, right?
Yeah, I think like I started having like breast growth and stuff like when I was like around 18.
Okay.
Like it took me maybe a good 2 years, a year and a half.
Oh, yeah, 16 you started.
Yeah.
And then
I remember like, because by the time I was 17 when I left my parents' house and I started living on my own in Amsterdam.
you said 17?
Yeah, because by 16 I started my modeling career. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, in Europe, you grow up so faster than Americans.
Yeah. We're fast. No, by 16 I started modeling, so I just moved out at 17. I stopped. I did high school. I graduated from high school at 17, and then my mom was like, "Okay, work or you want to go to university?" I was like, "University? What? I'm going to go like live the best life I can and model around the world and be the next superstar." And it worked out for me. So I did top model. I didn't even get that far on the show. They boot me out because they got the story. The trans story was interesting. They milked it out. And I was too old. I was like 25 by then. And all the girls were like 19, 18. And I didn't get into fights and the bitchiness and stuff. And I was like the mama.
You're boring.
Yeah, they're like, get out.
It's television.
Yeah.
Reality television.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do actual television. Reality was not the goal back then. And then...
But it's kickstart.
It was a kickstart, and I used it to my advantage. So I got out the show. I was like on the cover of Bild, which is like Time magazine. Not Time magazine. It's a bad comparison, but it's a big magazine in Germany.
What type of magazine is it?
It's Bild. It's like.
Is it
It's like a
fashion magazine?
No, Bild. It's like a newspaper. It's a paper.
It's a paper.
It's a paper. And you have like entertainment, daily stuff, like everything, politics, and I was.
And
like
it comes out every day.
Every day, and I was like on the cover of it, and it said like "Clue model used to be a man." I mean, they didn't have any words to like talk about trans people in the media because we were always ridiculed and joked about. Yeah. So when I saw that, I mean, my heart broke. I'm like, they think I'm a man. They saw me in my bikini, like out of where man. Like I was, and back then, very like stupid of me also just thinking like I have a vagina, I'm a woman, I'm not a man. This is the way we thought. Nobody taught us about non-binary and like what I said earlier, like a vagina doesn't mean you're a woman. A penis doesn't mean you're a man. Like we weren't educated like that. This came with the years, people. You learn, you live and you learn. Even for trans people from that generation and from that time, not everybody was like open and
woke,
of
course not.
I
mean, how could you? I mean, there's so much.
But then it became my mission to educate people about how to speak to us and how to respect us. And it was during that time where Laverne Cox did Orange is the New Black, remember? So she was like paving the fucking way. And I was like, this is it. I want to be the Laverne of Europe. Show them what I got. And I did pretty okay, I think. And it just was a kickstart to my career over there.
So you were doing a little bit of television?
A lot of talk shows and interviews. And then a book came and I did a book tour. And, it's trying to, like, be taken more serious and, like, going on political TV shows and, talking about trans subjects. But we changed a lot, and I feel like we got a lot of respect for the community out of it. But I never got, like, the opportunity to start doing what I wanted to do, and it was, like, hosting and acting and being on TV because it was just too early. It wasn't the time yet in Europe. I feel like America was always a step in front of us, and we were behind over there.
But I was wondering, it seemed like your transition was pretty positive, right? Do you have anything negative to say about it? Like your experience, how did people treat you? And it didn't seem like it. I mean, from the brief explanation
I was
you were telling
bullied
me.
a lot in school. Bullied a lot. The press hasn't been always very great with me, especially in Germany. Every bad word you can imagine, they've called me, mentioned me. I mean, I had an interview with a very pronounced magazine. I won't call the name because I do wish to work with them again. It was just this one journalist who was shit. And I couldn't believe she asked me this question. She was like, so do you top or bottom your partner? Like, do you use your penis? It's like, first of all, I don't have a penis. And second of all, if I had one, that's none of your fucking business. Yeah. Like, why do you think you're going to ask me these kind of questions? Trans people are unfortunately still being treated as second-class citizens or third-class citizens in the world.
Was that a woman?
It was a woman asking me this. And then
maybe she felt that was... She could ask that.
Yeah, no. What is between my legs and how I use it and what I do with it is none of your business. And if I want to share that with you, I'll make the first approach, but you should never ask people that.
All right. I'm taking my notes.
Yes. I'm just very open in talking about my surgeries and I come from a very privileged background and I know the privilege that I have.
Well, you just said, you had your bottom surgery. So that answers the question right there.
I have a vagina, a neo vagina, which doesn't change anything. It doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody else or I'm more woman than another trans woman.
You wanted to do that because that's what you wanted to do. Ultimately, in the
that
end,
was
right?
my goal in life, and this is the person that I see myself as, and I'm comfortable in my skin this way. Yeah, but I am not the role model or the statue for all trans people in the world.
Yeah, because I'm just sharing we're all human beings, right?
Yeah,
and everyone's gonna want to do a different length of it or transformation, basically, right? We're all human beings, and everyone's going to think something different.
Right.
We're not all the same. So
we're not all the same. So first of all, buy my books. No, one of the advices, my good friend Charlie Craig.
Is the book?
So the book is in German.
Would it help?
No, so
would it help for someone that's
absolutely?
Okay.
It will, yes.
It's like it could be a self-help.
It could.
It's autobiography.
You need to live your life for you. My book is my story, and it might inspire you to do things your own way eventually in life. But my friend Charlie Craig's, her book is called To My Trans Sisters. If you want it, and it's a book full of letters from trans people to other trans people. And I'm one of those trans people who wrote in that book. And we give other girls advice and tell them, hey, sister, I wish I did this different. Or listen, maybe try this or do this. And it's okay. You're not going to die. This is fine. You're a survivor. You got this. So we're trying to inspire each other. And that book is a beautiful bundle. To My Trans Sisters by Charlie Craig's. Get it on Amazon. I ordered a bunch of those, and every time I meet a trans friend or person, I give them one of those. It's such an inspiring, great book to have. So yeah, get that. It's a book that I tell people to get it. Yeah, last words is we're going through such a horrible, horrible situation now in the world when it comes to abortion laws and Iran and trans laws and all these horrible stuff. I hope at the end of the day, we need to get more closer to each other and be nicer to each other and just be nice, be kinder, be more understanding, and be more respectful. That's my message that I always give to people. Be kind. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind to someone. Stop being an asshole. It's not necessary. Be nice. The end.
Yes, that is, we preach on that one every day, all day.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for coming in, Pari
Roehi.
Roehi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.